Let's be honest, there's no guidebook when it comes to relationships. So we end up having to stumble through life trying to figure things out for ourselves. What if there was a podcast that found the answers for you, that provided insight to build a successful relationship and ultimately find the companionship you've always hoped for? Welcome to the Girls Ask Guys show, where we answer the questions most people are afraid to ask when it comes to lessons in life and love. It's time to master this thing called life together with your hosts, John and Ashley.
And welcome back, everybody. It is part 2 of Love is Blind, part 2 of 3, as we rip this show apart, because not only is it one of the most addicting shows we've ever watched, but it's also one of the most problematic. It is an absolute train wreck, and we are kind of enjoying every second of it. I mean, we can't really stop talking about it. So we're going to jump right into it. If you don't know what Love is Blind is, it's a TV show on Netflix. It releases about 5 episodes at a time, where it's based on this experiment where people talk in pods for hours and hours, and then they get engaged without knowing each other or seeing each other.
Yeah. Okay. The first show that we did, we kind of went through it a little bit fast. This show, we're going to break this shit down because literally at the end of watching 4 episodes, I wanted to pull my hair out because everything that the research said was going to happen is happening.
Yeah, and not only is it happening, it is disgusting how predictable this research is. And it's disgusting to the point where the research itself has been proven to not be healthy, if I'm not mistaken. And the fact that humans still go into this mindset of we have to make it work, it blows my mind.
Yeah, there's only 2 studies that show any kind of positive results, but that is based off of people actually meeting each other and getting to know each other before they actually say, "Will you marry me?"
Imagine that.
Yeah, there's more to it, and the struggles that people go through with a normal engagement and a normal dating life, the small stuff is fleshed out. And because they have time compressed this thing, you can't flesh it out.
Right. I believe it 45 days, and after 45 days, the weddings are coming up, so they're either going to say I do or I don't, and they're going to walk away forever. I think aside from all the huge issues with rushing a marriage to 45 days, the point of flushing the small stuff out to me is one of the biggest issues, because you gotta deal with the small shit, man. How do they sleep? Do they snore? Can I do this?
Yeah, what's allowed, what's not allowed.
Right. And they're getting to know each other as they're already engaged. And the problem is they feel obligated to get over this shit. And I don't like that. I don't like that they are all kind of, and every single one of them says that they're withholding parts of their personality so that person doesn't leave. I fucking hate that.
Yeah. And in this very first released episode, and this has been stated 2 or 3 times prior to this, and this is what gets me, is that you have a married couple that is coming up. And to be quite honest, this married couple looks like they need some counseling because they don't look like a married couple. But they're standing there and they say this again: marry the person you fell in love with without seeing, or say goodbye to them forever. And this sets the tone that if you don't say yes or you don't go through with it, you're going to miss out on the best thing that has ever happened to you.
Right. Like, what kind of shit is that? I don't understand why you have to say goodbye to them.
Forever.
Maybe like, hey, will you marry me? You know what? I really do like you, but I'm not sure if I want to marry you quite yet. Let's keep dating. Why don't we do that? Why are we giving them this ultimatum that makes, once again, we are dealing with people's lives. This isn't a joke. This isn't just a show for them. This is their actual fucking life. So to give them this ultimatum and put them into this pressure box, this pressure container, everything is going to explode eventually, and it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like the dating game where you had 3 people to choose from on the other side. You got to ask them like 3 or 4 questions, and then you go out on a date.
A date. One date.
It's like one date. And if you kind of get along, you kind of get along. But all they did was okay, you're now going on a date.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. There was nothing really at stake.
Nope.
They go on it and they know it's a game.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's there to have fun.
Yeah.
These people are looking for love. And I can't remember who said it. Oh, it was Giannina. She says, for the last year, I've been so single it hurt.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, it sounds like she's going to jump into a relationship and they're going to attach themselves to each other. And it's going to be fucked up. Like, it's so fucked up to me.
Well, when Gina's parents asked Damien, why do you want to get married? Well, I've always wanted to be married.
Right.
Oh, there you go. That's what every one of these people are looking for. Like I said in the last episode, the casting crew did a very good job at finding the people that will fit this show. They want to get married.
Yep. And that's cool. Everybody, I think most people, or maybe a decent amount of people, want to get married in the world.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that you put them in a confined situation to where they are almost forced to pick a partner. This is worse than arranged marriages. At least arranged marriages consolidate power. You're just fucking people's lives up.
Yeah. And if you grew up in a society where arranged marriages are pretty much the norm, well, then that's what you're used to. That's what you're used to seeing.
Right.
Our society is not built that way.
No.
And they get to this point where they start moving in, or supposedly moving in. Oh, gosh. Oh, this is it's still a closed loop.
This is where my jaw dropped.
Yeah. They go to this neutral area. Everybody lives in the same apartment complex. Okay, when normal people move in with each other, it's usually one person moves into the other person's place.
Yep.
And
Person with cheaper rent.
It's either cheaper. Yeah. It's either the rent is cheaper, the place is nicer, it's in a nicer neighborhood, but usually one person moves into the other person's place. I have yet to ever meet anybody or any couple. They both gave up both of their places and went and rented a new apartment.
See, that was the most bullshit part for me. I was like, hold on, so you're still going to have to pay both of your leases.
Yeah, or your rent.
Right, or your rent, or your
or
mortgage.
Your mortgage.
Like, yeah, you're going to have to pay. You're going to pay 2 mortgages for the next couple weeks or for the next month, because instead of this show being smart and saying you guys need to pick one place to live, and that's what I would do.
That's what I was like. How are they going to overcome this?
Right, because
one
moving
person
is
lives
stressful.
in Maine, the other one lives in Georgia.
Yeah,
who's going to live with who?
Oh my god!
I understand from a production standpoint, it's a lot easier just to send the cameraman up one flight of stairs or next door. But still, there's no personality in these homes. You don't...
These living spaces.
These living spaces. It's not Gia's personality. It's not Damien's personality. It's not Jessica's personality. Their direction or how they decorated the place.
Right.
There's none of that. They literally came in with their suitcases, unpacked. Then we kind of got to see their place as they went over and picked up the rest of their stuff that they need.
Right, their shit. They go pick up another backpack worth of shit, and you see their houses that are semi-okay. I mean, and to me, what it says is that you both are willing to give up everything. You know what I mean? Like, you gave up your job for a month, you gave up your house for a month, and you did all that to find love. But you're not finding love. You're finding a person who you're willing to settle with.
And the other couples are still there as their support system.
Right? That's crazy.
So
That's
the
crazy.
mentality never leaves. You never really leave the experiment to go experience life with this other person in their environment.
Right, exactly. And then when you do leave, that person is still fucking with you. So you have somebody to justify your bullshit to everybody else who's like, guys, listen, this is a fucking red flag. This is a red flag. Here's a red flag. Here's a red flag. There's a red flag. And I don't give a shit what anyone says. You can't live with somebody until you moved with them. And not moved in. I mean, you moved your shit with them, because moving is a bitch.
Oh, trust me, I know.
That'll break a motherfucker up in a minute. Like, you cannot marry someone until you move with them.
Yeah, I've moved almost every 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
With my parents being in the military, then me joining the military, and even after the military. moving is a son of a bitch.
Yep. And that shit can break you up. So, I mean, they go to each other's houses. They kind of get there. We see a glimpse into these people's lives, a little glimpse into, who they are as a person when they go into their houses. But it's not really enough still. To me, it's not enough to base an engagement off of. They're still learning shit about each other, like important shit.
And that's where the discoveries come in.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Because what we find out, like any couple is going to find out, that you still don't know everything, especially after like the pods and this extravagant vacation place that they went to.
Oh my God. Yeah, of course. I would be fucking in love more too. I would be in love with everybody. You send me to a fucking beautiful Mexican vacation with unlimited pool time, a boat. Like, of course, we're going to have a great time. We're going to make it fucking work because we're not going home.
Fuck no. The production crew is going to regret sending me there and paying the bill.
Yeah, for real.
We only budgeted $100,000, but this couple ran up $500,000.
Yeah, we bought the boat, bitch. We bought a boat.
Yeah, but going back to the studies, okay, we had a study that was done by Murray, Holmes, and Griffin in 1996. Now I want to lay this whole thing out for you if you want to go read the study. It was called The Benefits of Positive Illusions. Now, this is based on the Taylor Brown that we mentioned in the last episode. It was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, Volume 70, pages 79 through 98. There you go. There it is. Go look it up for yourself. This study showed that the positive illusions begin to break down when you start ignoring your partner's negative attributes, and those can become detrimental to both your psychological and physical well-being. And we see this happening in this show.
Often.
Because you find it, such as finding it difficult to consistently live up to your idealized perceptions of the person you're going out with.
Isn't that crazy? It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think when we talk about that, obviously, Jeannie and Damien are the people who have this illusion broken immediately.
Yeah.
As soon as one thing, and it didn't even go wrong, as soon as there is a little step in the miscommunication, everything just broke for them. I mean, they were, and when you saw them in the resort, they were perfect. They looked like I was rooting for them.
There was actually just that one little piece on the boat. Just that one, that was like a slight break. But when they went to I think Barrett's birthday party,
yeah.
Yeah, that's when it like shit hit the fan.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and then it kept going into like the next scene or the next day.
And then they were in the gym still arguing.
Yeah.
And this is all because of a cell phone. This is all because someone was on their cell phone. And that's the thing. That's why rushing into things like this are so bad, because when you date someone, you notice things like that. And you can bring up a conversation without feeling obligated to shut the fuck up or they're going to leave you.
Yeah, but it's also an ongoing problem between Jessica and Mark.
Yeah.
Because they still have that break as well. And these are like the two primary couples, but you see it in almost every single couple. But really with Gia and Damien, when she's told him that she's lost her butterflies and she's trying to get them back. And
it's been like 3 fucking weeks.
Yeah, it's been like 3 fucking weeks. And that she fell out of love with him, or she falls out in love with him, and then she falls out of love with him so quickly. Well, guess what? That's that break of the positive illusion. And then Damien came back and told Gia that he had become very submissive with her on different things. That's, again, it's that where he's taken her negative attributes and kind of minimalizing them in order to make this thing work.
Right. And it's crazy. You kind of see the thing I like about them is, while I don't believe in this stupid ass experiment, they are sort of a real couple in the way that they deal with shit. They tackle their problems kind of head on. They sit down and he's very direct with her. She listens, she receives it. very well. When we talk about Jessica and Mark, though, see, that to me is just a fucking
That's
nightmare.
a train wreck waiting to happen.
Oh my gosh. I mean, not only is she settling for him, but he's young, you know. I'm around his age and I'm a little older, but 5 years ago, fuck. I mean, when you're in your early 20s and someone looks at you right, you're going to want to make shit work because I guess your biological clock is ticking and you're feeling like I'm in my mid 20s. I need to make something
Feels
work.
like time is rushing by.
Right. So he's ready to jump into any goddamn thing. She wants somebody who worships her like a little fucking princess, and then she throws all these problems. I can't fucking stand this person. Like I can't stand humans like that.
I really don't get her big hang up. Because I've mentioned this in past episodes. I've gone out with people who are way younger than I am. But the thing is that the way that we look at it was, okay, well, if it doesn't bother you, then it doesn't bother me. But we also have to take a look at what kind of relationship are we looking for. I myself, I'm looking for long term. Okay. I'm pretty much over the short term having fun, even though that is kind of fun every now and then.
Right.
So between finding people who are looking for long term, yeah, short term be okay. But we go into it understanding that.
She's full of shit, and I'm going to tell you why. She's full of shit. She's using age as a fucking excuse. And the reason I know this is because every time they went to go meet somebody, she was
waiting
like,
for the age thing.
Just waiting for it to be an issue. She was waiting for it to be an issue. And as soon as it wasn't a fucking issue, she was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm trapped.
Yep. And she's not trapped. That's the thing. She trapped herself.
Well, then she brings up that the reason she can't commit is because of what her mom went through.
Right.
To a point, I can understand that, but she was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Now she was told this. Now, there has to be something else in there that is preventing her, other than the age thing.
She doesn't love him. She doesn't fucking love him. She can say all she wants.
To me, she's coming off as a bit false and a bit fake because he was her second choice.
Right.
And it was the last minute.
Yep.
Because if I remember correctly, it was like day 9.
Mm-hmm.
And when Barrett rejected her and went for Amber. So she had already destroyed it with him. She already called it off on like day 8, got rejected on day 9. Here it is, day 10. If she doesn't get a proposal, she's walking out with nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of settled for him.
Yeah, and it comes out at his party. I mean, and it comes out whenever Barnett's around. It comes out all the time. You can tell because every time she gets in a goddamn confessional, or she sees him, they have to sit down and they have to talk about it. They have to sit down and they have to talk about it. She has to clear the air. She has to get something off her chest because clearly she's not fucking done. And she needs to be honest with Mark and say, and also Mark needs to take off his fucking, his rose-colored glasses and be like, damn, this bitch is about to play me.
Yeah. But this whole thing between Jessica and Mark, I know Jessica had a break with her positive illusion was broken almost immediately.
Mm-hmm. As soon as she saw him, basically.
Yeah. And then and it's really the whole reason that they keep focusing on because they're like the drama of the entire show.
She's a mess. Just is a mess, man. Like a complete mess.
Then we have Barrett and Amber. Now, oh my gosh. Okay. Amber asked what, let me see if I got this right. Amber asked what he would do if someone in his family had a problem with her. Would he back her up and take her side, or would he side with his family? He could not answer.
Face was broken. You could tell.
Oh, her body language, the expression on her face, there was no illusion that she just had a breakdown of whatever positive illusion that she had of him and their future.
I think he was, I see it more like he had I haven't really seen Amber have too many breaks in her positive illusion yet. And I think
that was pretty much the only one.
Yeah, I think it's because she kind of is a fly by the seat. So I feel like if anybody's genuinely excited and genuinely in this, Amber's like got that kind of personality to where this is actually the only way she probably would have met somebody long term. Barnett's, on the other hand, lives in the fucking real world. And not just the real world, the white collar real world. So when she starts talking about issues like finances, and then she starts talking about taking sides and all of these things, he's like, you can see the positive illusion break in his face, and it's like shatters.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I remember that when she revealed her financial problems, and he was asking her, well, are you at least making the minimums? And she's like, no, I'm not.
No.
I've been avoiding it. You can see his shoulders slump. They go forward. His arms cross in front of him. His head turns away from her and starts looking at the ground. Mm-hmm. And now things are kind of clicking through his head. This is something we didn't talk about.
Which baffles me.
Yeah. Usually at some point during a relationship, especially one that is longer than a couple of months and
couple days,
you kind of realize that you're getting serious.
Mm-hmm.
You start talking finances.
Yep.
It's one of those natural progressions after the butterflies and the unicorns and the chocolates and the rainbows.
Then comes,
once all that stuff starts fading away, you start talking about real life issues, and you kind of get out of the make-believe world, which mm-hmm. these people cannot get away from because
they're
reiterated
thrown into one. Exactly. Yeah. They're in make-believe. They're in the land of make-believe. They don't have to worry about any of this shit until they get married, and then they're fucked. And I think that some of the couples are doing a very, very good job communicating, and I think some of the couples are doing a very poor job of communicating the truth. I think Cameron and Lauren, though, when they have breaks in their positive illusion, when they have breaks, they have each other to not just only reassure each other, but to kind of reinforce exactly what they're looking for. I would say that if the experiment works on anybody, it would be them.
Yeah. She still is having some
reservations.
issues, which is understandable. I've known people all the way up to the day.
To literally walking down the aisle.
Yeah. There's still that little bit of insecurity. And we're talking about people who've been going out for years and they've been engaged for like years.
Right.
And they still are like, oh my God, I'm doing this. They're doing this after like 45 days.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another thing to note through these episodes with this positive illusion is who they are engaged to also has a building of personal insecurity, which is kind of like what we see between Lauren and Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
And this was discovered back in 2007 by Swami, Furman, Georgidas, and Pang. What they saw is that one person is totally indifferent to moving forward and the other one having doubts.
One person's totally confident in moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like totally confident. I mean, Cameron is like, Cameron's doing 100%. This. We got this. I mean, yeah, he's into it.
He's ready, man. He wants to have kids.
And so is Amber. Amber's like, this is happening. There's no going back.
I think Amber's just a hobosexual more than anything. Like, honestly, I think she's just ready to find a place to live and be a stay-at-home mom and drink red wine on the couch all day. I don't necessarily think she's in love.
Well, I mean, she's definitely made up her mind one way or the other.
Yeah. She's fucking nuts.
Yeah, but this whole thing is that one person is like totally confident in it and the other one has doubts. So the breaks of positive illusion that are happening, they are really the driving force between this whole thing because everybody wants to see, are they going to say yes? Are they going to say no? Mm-hmm. Are they going to say yes? So it's like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's another break. There's another break.
Oh, I can see him shatter. Every time you see him shatter. And you can literally kind of, if you know what a positive illusion is, you can almost hear it like shatter like glass, you know, and you're like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, this is going to be bad. I think the reason I'm such a big fan of Cameron and Lauren is because even though she has doubts. From day one,
they were talking about the issue that they were, and the stuff that they were going to have to deal with.
And even though she has doubts, she doesn't lie to him about it.
Yeah, I mean, she's still being 100% honest with him. And even when he asked her straight up, where are you? And this is like, okay, tomorrow we are getting married. Where do you stand? And she's like, I don't know.
I don't know. But you gotta I respect the honesty. I think in the long run, if anyone were to survive, it's between them and Ken and Kelly. But
yeah,
realistically,
I think Kelly still has some stuff that she's got to deal with.
Right. She said he's not typically the kind of guy she goes for. So and she can kind of see him as like a best friend. See, I don't really
that's a hard one right there, because she's kind of got him in the friend zone. And oh my gosh, I mean, if she starts looking at him more like a friend, or even worse, a brother, oh geez,
I don't know, man. Like,
that's going to crush him, because he's like totally head over heels for her, because reality again has not set in.
I think hindsight's 20/20 with those two. Once they break up, he'll realize, all right, I get it. But you don't really see too many breaks in their illusion. And that's because they have their parents' support, and they aren't really too different. You know what I mean? Like, they're very similar. So you never really see too many breaks as far as.
But also the show has not concentrated on them to a whole lot. You don't see them a whole lot. You see them like once for like maybe 2-3 minutes per episode. 2-3 minutes, it.
Exactly. I thought the same thing. I forgot they existed for like.
Yeah, I forgot they did too. I was like, wait a minute, who's this?
Right.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're so concentrated on the other couples.
Because they're so dramatic, and those two aren't dramatic. They speak, they listen, they're the most normal.
Yeah, but I remember when he was talking with Mark, and Mark was kind of like going over everything, and it's when they were standing at the blackjack table at the supposed bachelor party, and Mark is explaining everything, and he's just kind of like glanced out the corner of his eyes, takes a swig of beer, and next scene, he's talking to her.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
So then we move on.
Yeah, then we get into the introduction of the families and friends. Holy shit. Oh. Okay. We got to go back to another psychological study that has already covered this 20 years ago. Back in 1995, it was a study done by Simpson, Ikes, and Blackstone. Again, it was published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, volume 69, pages 629 through 641. There's some heavy reading for you. Okay, this thing was titled, When the Head Protects the Heart. This thing sheds a lot of light on what happens when friends and family are introduced to the couples.
This is a bad idea. The way that they got introduced, the way that the parents going in didn't know about the experiment, weren't briefed on it. Nobody knew anything. This was just it was a bad, I think it was a bad replication of this study.
Yeah, because the parents had limited time to even show up to meet either the groom-to-be or the bride-to-be.
They're on a production
and some of them, they didn't even know that they were engaged.
Exactly.
They showed up, and they're just
what is that?
Yeah, they're like, what is that? Oh, we're engaged. We're going to get married. And when did you meet him?
Right, like you've only been gone for a week.
Yeah, and the wedding is in like 17 days.
Right, and you have to pay for it, by the way. Here's the bill. You know what I mean? Like, good God. What the hell?
I think the production picked up some of the bill, but I think they had a budget.
Yeah, I highly doubt they picked up all of it.
Those wedding dresses were not cheap.
I know.
But, oh my gosh. Because Damien's family didn't even come out to meet Gia.
That kind of made me sad. And you know what? I understand to a certain degree, especially if they live in a different state. You can't just expect people to kind of pick up and fly to you if they're, they have lives, and you just want to be like, oh, well, last week I got engaged, Mom, come down now because we're getting married in 2 weeks. No, it doesn't work like that.
Well, she even mentioned to him, you knew about this for 3 weeks, and he states in that scene, no, I didn't. I did not know about this 3 weeks ago. They literally found out how this whole thing was going to work out when the cameras were rolling.
Right.
They only knew that this was a dating experiment, and that was mentioned. I forget which one of the ladies mentioned it. I think she was talking to either her mom or her dad. But Yeah, she told them, it explained to us that this is a dating experiment. They didn't know about you're going to get married at the end, which was also stated by the producer in Entertainment Magazine, the online version.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh my gosh. Okay, so back to how this whole study fits into this. And this really comes out when Barrett is confronted by his brother when Amber is introduced to the family. Barrett's brother pulls him to the side and questions him and explains to him how long it took him to make the decision to get married, which was 2 years. Barrett immediately starts defending his decision and explains, like almost every person explains to everybody, you have to go through the experience in order to know in order to understand us. Yeah.
And, the problem is, I think, especially with Barnett and Amber, is they're very much, I don't want to grow up, Peter Pan lifestyle. So when their parents are like, no, that's a bad idea, they're like, you can't tell me what to do, Mom. You know what I mean? Like, they're very teenagery in that way. So as soon as someone challenges this, they want to immediately defend themselves. I think it's almost kind of annoying the way they do that.
Yeah, because Mark does it when he's talking to his friends. And he even shares with them that he does not know where Jessica stands in the relationship, but he downplays it and brings up when we were in the pods. You gotta know what we went through in the pods. I mean, it goes again with Amber and Barrett. It goes again with Gia and Damien. You got to understand what we went through in the pods.
We were in the pods. It's like summer camp, honestly. That's the only way I can kind of describe it, is summer camp's the best time of your life, and you find camp love, and then you have to go back home, and camp love kind of breaks down, but that next year you're super excited for camp love. It's the same concept, and it's almost kind of sad that you're watching grown-ass humans go through it. I mean, when Jessica sits down to dinner with Mark's family, they're very tolerant. They're not coming down on him. They're not doing any, because I feel like my parents would be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Almost every one of them. Almost every one of the families came down on the side of them.
Yeah.
Very supportive, all except for Gia's parents. Gia's parents, when they were when they were in the kitchen, they were talking about, you need more time.
They were the only honest ones, because I think every parent wanted to say that, but they're saying, it's their life, let you live it. However, these are your children that are about to get married.
Lauren's dad actually said, I'll support you now, but that's as far as I'm going.
Right. I'll support you because she loves you. And that's because he doesn't know her. And he was actually very honest too. He goes, I don't know you, man. Like, oh, so you didn't think it was cool to ask my permission first? He was kind of really putting into perspective how quickly they met. The other parents, Kenny and Kelly, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, trying to keep this entire cast.
But their parents were just like, well, this happened to us too, so.
Yeah, we were married in 3 months.
C'est la vie. And I guess that's cool if it happens, but.
Well, I've heard of it happening, and I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
But
it's the way it was done.
It was, you're talking about 3 months.
Right.
Not 45 days.
Yeah, they won't even be together for 3 months when they get married. They won't even be together for 2 months when they get married, if they get married. So I think it's just, meeting the family was poorly executed. I think the parents were way too supportive, which I know sounds terrible, but you were gone for a week and you come back with an engagement ring. We know Amber's mom was the worst to me, because she was just like, all right, fuck it, marry her.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that, she's been looking for somebody.
Care of. Yeah. Right? Like, fuck it. Like, go for it. Like, why don't you have a wedding ring on? It's just an engagement ring. She just started crying about how her dad died, and I don't know. It just didn't seem like there was any practical advice given, except for Barnett's brother, who was the only one. And Mark's friend. They were the only ones who were like, look, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, but even then, everybody defended their fiance and the relationship in a positive fashion, which is what we pointed out in the last show. Almost everybody will talk about their relationships with other people in a positive fashion and downplay any of the negatives.
there was that study done in 2006 by Miller, Niehaus, and Huston called Positive Illusion in Marital Relationships, published Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, volume 32, pages 1579 to 1594. So if you want to sift through over 1,000 pages worth of information, here you go. Yeah, go for it.
It's only like 20 pages.
Well, it's 20 pages, but you have to flip through over 1,000.
Yeah, just skip right there. We gave you the page number, just skip right there.
Yeah. But it showed that believing that your partners are ideal in some way makes you pour more time and effort into maintaining the relationship.
See, to me, that just reads, you're settling because you think that this person's good. And you know that they're not for you. And that's just, it's like you're walking around lying to yourself. Yeah, and you're just lying to yourself. Like I said, I think of all the couples, we've seen some healthy relationships begin to form, but most
of them, they're not, this isn't
so
good.
Fucking toxic, yeah.
Damien sets up a dinner with a date and a dinner with Gia.
It's adorable.
And then you see it also happens when Mark sets up the pod recreation with Jessica. So that
I thought that was cute.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all of it's cute and everything, but
I thought it was cute.
They are fighting so hard for these people.
Right, that they don't even know. Like, they met 3
really
weeks ago.
Yeah, they still really don't know them. Yes,
It's
they have this
crazy.
emotional connection, but all that emotional connection does is make them want to fight harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kenny has the deep talk with Kelly because Kelly still has that physical disconnect with him.
Kelly's got some issues.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the fight between Gia and Damien, I was like, okay, next step, Damien's going to flip. He's going to start fighting for her. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
And what gets me is that the whole dinner thing.
So cute.
Damien's supposed to be a personal chef, but he hires a chef to cook.
Well, what the hell, man? It's on production time. You think I'm gonna go out and cook myself, or I'm gonna call Gordon fucking Ramsay? You know what I mean?
But the whole helicopter thing, and
it was adorable.
Yeah, what got me is that they flip over to Mark and Jessica, and
they're eating a steak on the ground.
Well, yes, but seeing in the background, everybody's at the same location.
Yeah, they all live in the same place, man.
No, they're at the same helicopter park.
Oh,
There's the sign.
That's how it does.
The sign behind him says rides available. And when he's standing in front of that sign saying rides available, and I was like, the entire production crew picked them all up and took them to the same place.
Yeah, except for the only people who got away were, once again, Cameron and Lauren, who really do their own thing. They don't rely so much on people hanging out. Yeah.
Now, that study, what it points out is that even when you see your partner's shortcomings, we're more likely to focus on their strengths and minimize their weaknesses. And all that does is continues to fuel the feeling of love for the person that you're going out with. That's what that entire study pointed out, and that's what this show is demonstrating can happen. Now,
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and I want to be full disclosure here. The study did conclude that positive illusion can lead to a healthy and lasting relationship. But the relationships that they followed for several years,
right?
It showed that positive illusion and those feelings were built over time. They weren't built in a month and a half, and they were not built by proposing to a person that you have never seen.
Exactly. Like, I think it's very fair to say that if you're in a long-term relationship with somebody, you're going to fight for it. Because that person, when you date someone for 4 or 5 years, they eventually kind of become a part of you.
Or even like 9 months.
Right. You don't want them to go anywhere because you've developed a habit. They haven't even been in habit forming. They
still don't know when the other person takes a shower. I mean, they're still getting used to that.
They're still talking about poop. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Do you hang your towel on the left or the right?
Right.
I don't know which one is mine. Oh, just use either one of them. That's nasty. It's kind of like the toothbrush thing.
I'm glad Lauren made that very clear. Like, don't use my fucking toothbrush.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I don't think is something I should have to make clear to another adult, but I'm glad she did. And that's what I mean by they're able to talk about normal shit. They're able to tackle everyday issues and kind of come to an agreement if they need to.
They're the only ones that, as far as I see, they are like the most grown up, looking down the road.
They're very healthy.
These are the problems we are going to have to face and deal with. And they are talking about like the small stuff that you're going to have to deal with. Everybody else is still big picture. Life is beautiful.
Right. Like rose-colored glasses and shit.
Yeah. But really, the overall persistent problem that I have with this show is that positive partner illusion. And it tends to enhance the relationship for the person that is holding that illusion.
Yep.
And the whole enhancement to the self-esteem and well-being for that specific person. Really, the person that this stands out the most with is Amber. Oh my gosh. I mean, she has stated more than once that, or actually a lot of people in this show have stated more than once, I don't think I can handle it if they say no.
I'll be honest, Amber reminds me of an orphan looking for parents. Like, she seems like the most desperate to fall in love. And it's a good and
it was
bad
Barrett
thing.
or nothing.
Yeah, that's it. But she knew. And that's it. It's almost kind of impressive to be able to know when you meet somebody. But I think the problem is that Barnett was the one who was confused. He had 3 different choices. He picks Amber because she's the most like him. Okay, but here's the thing. She's the most like you,
actually,
and all the things you hate about yourself.
Jessica's more like him and couldn't see it. And Amber just offered the excitement that...
Right, he said me and Amber were the same person. That's exactly what he said. And I think he doesn't realize that she's the fun side of him, but not the side of him that gets shit done. So I'm interested to see what living together would look like for them. Because
she even said he's been working his ass off and she has yet to go back to work.
Right. And she's like an ex-mechanic?
She was a tank mechanic in the Army.
In the Army, yeah. So it's not like, I mean, I don't know what the civilian translation of that is.
There isn't like, one. There's no big call for tank mechanics or tank drivers in the civilian world.
That means you must have but you have to have some fucking skill or something.
Yeah, you got to be good at physics.
I feel like if you could fix a car, you can fix a tank, you can fix a car. You know, like you
so
can
long
do
as
an
it
oil
has a turbine engine.
right. You could probably fix you could change the oil, definitely.
Yeah.
But
being a tank mechanic, that takes some brute strength. I mean,
that's no joke, man.
Yeah, because when I transferred from the Marines to the Army, in the Army I was a cavalry scout, and I've had to change track. Fuck that. I mean, you call a mechanic, and they're like, "Nope, that's your job."
Yeah, she's
come
not.
Here, Private.
It's not like she's without skill. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like she has no skill set. It's not like she doesn't bring anything to the table. I think when you get out of the Army as a tank mechanic, it probably is a little bit difficult to find a job. And
I mean, it depends on what her rank was when she got out. Because I mean, if you're a corporal or a sergeant or something like that, you have leadership skills. You have planning skills. You have those interpersonal skills of being able to motivate people to do something that they really don't want to do. So
yeah, but I mean, she probably just got out. She's young.
Yeah, I mean, she probably did. I'm not sure. They just keep showing her as ex-tank mechanic.
Yeah.
Like, okay, impressive.
It's pretty cool.
Whatever. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I mean, she worked in pretty much an all-male type environment. Because those tank companies, pretty much tend to be just guys.
Yeah, she's an ex-tank mechanic. So I think when it comes to Amber and her knowing what she wants, that's probably where that comes from, is being able to make those decisions, you know, being in the Army, being a tank mechanic, having to quickly, I'm sure they don't get 7 weeks to fix a tank, having to quickly fix a tank, having to quickly decide an issue and solve it. So there is, I guess with Amber, when we look at it from a total package standpoint, she was trained to do this. She's trained to make decisions, and they have to be the right call.
Yeah, she's had to make those decisions quite quickly,
Yep.
pretty much through her entire life. Just the little glimpses that we've been allowed to see, because these people are being filmed pretty much 24/7. So they're just showing us little glimpses to paint the picture. But even with everybody, I mean, to her credit, she has some of the characteristics that I'm familiar with. I know what I'm looking for as far as a long-term relationship. I just haven't found that person that fits enough qualities that I can go, okay, yes, that's the person. I've met people who've come close, but when I really look at them and I'm like brutally honest with myself, I just know this isn't really going to work. There's too many nuances there that just, they don't have enough energy. They're not adventurous enough. They can't like get stupid silly with me because they have to be a grown up. I like that about Amber. She can get stupid silly and not care.
Oh, she gives no fucks.
Yeah. I mean, and I like that. But at the same time, she needs to like earn a living. She needs to go to work. So now if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, hey, that's fine. So long as the bills are getting paid and I can at least come home and enjoy myself without coming home and having to go straight to bed because I've got to be up in 4.5 hours to go make more money.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
because
to go
you
drive
have a
for Uber.
$700 makeup bill.
Right. Yeah, no, I think if as we see Amber evolve, she seems like a train wreck, but when you put everything into perspective, it's not that she's a train wreck. It's just everything's moving so fast with these people. And you can see her at the quote-unquote bachelorette party. She's crying, saying, I'm marrying my best friend. When she puts on her wedding dress, there is no doubt in this woman's mind that this is the person she's meant to be with. And so, I mean, it's almost
seems like Barnett is pretty much of the same mindset, but he's playing it off. So she has doubts.
Right, and she doesn't have any doubts. You can't shake that bitch's faith on this man. Yeah. And I think when he finally started realizing,
I just hope to God he says yes, because she will become like a complete train wreck. She's going to need some psychological help if it doesn't go through, or it doesn't work.
He has that power, and I think when you see Amber and you see Burnett, I think the only illusion that's ever broken was when they were discussing finances and his family. Yeah. And those are two very important things. So I can't wait to see how it plays out. Obviously, guys, we're going to have to do a part 3.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I'm not trashing these people.
No.
Because we really don't see their entire life. We don't see what's going on the other 22 and a half hours of their day.
Right.
What my problem is with how this show and the producers have put this thing together.
Oh, there's no malice towards these people.
Yeah, my malice is towards the production and the producers and the people who put this thing on, because there are studies out there, and the fact that these people did not know what they were walking into, except for it's a dating show experience or experiment. That's my issue. And now, people can say love is blind, but sometimes love actually needs to be taught to see the light.
Right on. Let's make some predictions for next week. I'm pretty excited.
Actually, I think Damien's going to say no to Gina.
So you're going to say no?
I think Damien's going to say no to Gia. Because it's based off that last little bit. I mean, he is breaking down, and me knowing micro expressions, those are not good expressions that he's giving. I think he is going to say no.
Okay. What do you think Gia's... Well, if he says no, what do you think Gia's going to say?
Gia already said yes. They cut...
They showed... That's right.
Yeah, they cut at her, and he's sitting there, and you can look at his face. And again, I know micro expressions. You can go research it for yourself. You can actually get trained on it if you want, or do your own training. But once you're familiar with micro expressions, you can actually see different cues come across people's faces. And it's literally, you're talking like milliseconds. It's there and it's gone. He's going to, I have a feeling he's going to say no.
I think they are going to get married. I think Amber and Barnett are going to get married. I don't think Mark and Jessica are going to get married.
I think Jessica's probably going to bow out at last.
I think Mark's going to bow out, actually. And I don't think for a minute Lauren and Cameron are going to get married, but I think they will remain friends.
With Lauren and Cameron, it's a toss-up.
Right.
If anything, I believe he's probably going to. They're both actually going to bow out. I would lean more towards her before
graceful bow.
Him. I would say he's going to bow out before she does, but they would stay friends if they do say "I do" for whatever reason. I don't give it a big chance. They will probably be divorced within about 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Barnett and Amber, I give them probably.
I feel like they're going to get married. I give them
I
the rest of their lives.
They
to
are
be
going to
completely
get
honest
married.
with you. I give them the rest of their lives.
I'd have to put them
with
like
2
further
kids
down the road. I would have to say they're out there probably about, I would say maybe 5 years before they really start running into big problems and probably a divorce.
Nah, I give them 2 kids and a big ass dog.
Yeah, I mean it's with them it's touch and go, but as with all of these studies and the predictions that they have and that have been verified, a lot of these type of relationships don't last, unfortunately. I mean there's too much research out there.
I would like to think if I'm going to pick one couple that's going to last, it's going to be those 2 because they fit. They fit, unfortunately. They're so toxic together that they won't give up. I didn't say they're going to have a happy life. I just said forever.
Yeah, I think she would actually drive him up the fucking wall, to tell you the truth. No, I'm sorry. I was thinking Kelly and Ken. Those were the ones I was thinking about, not Lauren and Cameron.
They might last.
Kelly and Ken are the ones that I think will probably bow out, and because she's still got that physical issue and sees him more as a friend. I think he's starting to realize that. So those are the 2 that I think are going to probably bow out gracefully and probably, well, they're supposed to say goodbye forever, but I think they're going to stay friends.
No, I think that's what Lauren and Cameron are going to do. I think actually both of them have that potential.
Lauren and Cameron, because they're the ones that actually have gone more in depth and talked more deeply about the issues that they're going to have to see, and the fact that Lauren's father actually said, okay, I will support you for now. Those 2, I think, will actually make it. If my money's on anybody, it would be on those 2 because they have looked at reality more than everybody else.
I agree. I mean, I think when I say they're not going to make it, I just think Lauren might bow out, and I think they'll be friends. I don't know about Kelly and Ken. I don't know about Kelly and Ken. They are the most confusing. They're
because
the
we
biggest
just haven't seen anything.
Right. They're the biggest, they're the biggest confusion. If they do get married, I think they'll be able to work it out. And I think they'll be able to succeed. I think they'll have those little blonde kids and shit.
Yeah. But because Kelly sees Ken more as a friend, I mean, she does have her family support, so that could push her over the edge. But because she sees him as a friend and she cannot make that physical connection with him, other than a couple hugs here, a little kiss there, that's about it. That physical attraction that is needed just isn't there. And that, if they do end up getting married, I think I really only give them like under a year before they actually get a divorce. Unfortunately, because that it's going to be too much of a hang up.
Right.
He's being understanding now, but when reality hits and they're 3 months in and she's still trying to overcome this, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that's part 2. Of course, we're going to have to do part 3 because
we're going to have to do part 3 because we're not. I mean, this is one of those shows that is just so friggin' frustrating to me because I see so much going wrong, but nobody else is seeing it, and the friends and family, they're being told the same thing by everybody, and they're just like, I don't get it, but okay. So yeah. Okay, so we're going to see if my prediction about what's Damien is going to happen or not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think if he says no, oh my gosh, part 3 is going to be something epic.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, guys. Stay tuned for part 3. We're going to be breaking down Love is Blind. Actually, we'll probably have a show in between because it comes out next week.
Yeah, it comes out on the day that we're supposed to actually be releasing a show. But, yeah, stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you are interested in our courses that we keep mentioning and talking about, head over to our website where you can actually pre-register for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no payment involved. There's none of that stuff. You're only going to get 2 emails. One is saying that we got you on the list. The next one that you get is going to say it's open. You can now go out to the site and sign up for the course itself.
Don't miss out.
And we're probably going to be having some merchandise come out here pretty darn soon. Keep an eye out for that one too. We've been designing stuff left and right, and this is actually some good quality stuff. This isn't that cheap stuff that you go pick
that you
up.
wear. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That you usually wear. It's not that shit you usually put on your bodies.
Yeah, and this doesn't have a whole bunch of advertising and stuff on it. This is stuff that you can actually just wear out, and so there's no website address, phone numbers, and all that other
It's not
crap.
like swag. It's just like literally sweatshirts.
Yeah, it's like some hoodies and stuff like that. So, but if you're interested in that, we will be putting that up on our Instagram account and on the site as that stuff actually comes up. So enjoy, and we will talk to you on the next one.
That's all for this episode of the Girls Ask Guys show, where all of us learn to master this thing called life together. For more answers to your questions on life and love, be sure to subscribe to the show so you don't miss a single episode. And head to girlsaskguyshow.com to submit your questions for a future episode or apply to be a guest on the show. Good luck out there, and we'll catch you next time, right here on the Girls Ask Guys show.